Hello there everyone and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner with me, Lydia, in my little crafty corner. So today I'm going to be showing you how you can create your very own perfect yet very, very quick peekaboo card front. So to start with, I am going to be using the very pretty frilly begonia stamp set from Altenew. This is from the Builder Garden set. I'm going to be stamping this onto a piece of classic Crest Solar White, and I'm just using my stamp wheel to do so. I am using a stamp positioning tool because I'm going to be heat embossing this, and I do like to stamp it twice before doing so. So to start with, I am going to add some of the anti-static powder down. I use baby powder or some talc. I find that this works really, really well. For the ink, I'm going to be using the embossing ink from Altenew. So as you can see, I've just kind of stamped that once. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink it up and then stamp it again directly over the top. I find that this gives me the best coverage to do it twice. Once that has been done, I'm then going to add over some embossing powder. I'm using the Rose Gold from Altenew. This is one of my favorite of all time embossing folders. Probably behind the Pure White. That's probably my favorite. Once that has been done, we're then going to use the simple coloring stencils to color this beautiful image in. So I am using my low tack mat behind me. I've then added the images on top of that, and then I have stencil number 1. All I've done is then pop this into place. You can use the layering guide that we have on the back of the packaging, or inside the packaging, sorry, to kind of help you to see where you need to line these up. I am using 2 different inks on this to give us that really cool kind of gradient two-tone effect. The first one that I used was Rouge, and I've tried to add that more to the base of the petals, and I'm then going to be taking the Sunray ink and then using that to kind of blend out that rouge and then add the colour all over the petal, and we're going to get this beautiful kind of, I'm going to say tangerine-y kind of colour. It is very, very pretty, and I do love how these 2 inks kind of mix together beautifully. So we're going to do exactly the same technique for all of the other petals that we have on this image. So I'm adding that rouge ink with a small blending tool to the centers of the flowers, or the centers of the petals, or base, sorry. And then we're going to take that Sunray ink and then blend out the ink that we already have, and then add the rest of the yellow all over the petals. Very, very pretty. I love this color, and I did have a begonia this color, so this is why I've got the inspiration to do it this color, is because I did have one and it was very pretty, and it was one of my favorites until it didn't flower anymore. So I wasn't great with that one, but it was very pretty while it lasted. So again, I'm just going to do the same with the second stencil in the set. So I'm adding that over the petals that it goes with, and then we're going to add in that beautiful rouge color to like the base of the petal, or just a little to the side, and then we're going to use the Sunray to blend out the whole of the ink color that we have, and then add the rest of it to the rest of the petals. Once we've done that 3rd layer, we just have a 4th layer for this larger flower that we have on the left hand side. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that into place, and as you can see, that is going to completely cover the rest of the petals that we have left. So I'm going to add some of that rouge into place, and then take my Sunray and then blend that out. So once that has been done, all we need to do now is add in the leaves. So I have stencil number 3 here. And as you can see, it's going to colour in most of the leaves that we have, and also those flower centres. I'm going to take the Sunray ink again, and we're going to add that to the tips of the leaves this time. So we're going to try and go for a 2-tone variegated effect on the leaves as well. So for the green, I'm going to start off with the Jade ink. Again, I have another small blending tool. This time I'm adding it from the base, and I'm trying to blend that colour in to the yellow that we have on the tips of the leaves. I'm also adding these to the flower centres that we have as well. So just adding a bit of colour to those. It was at this point that I decided I wanted a little bit more green, a little bit more darker. So I also have the eucalyptus, and I'm just going to add that right at the very base of these leaves and also over those flower centers as well. Once that's done, we're just going to add the last leaf on, and that's on the same stencil that we've just used. So I'm just going to pop that into place. I'm going to add in the sun ray to the tip. Then I'm going to be adding that jade ink, trying to blend that in to the yellow that we have on the edges of the leaf. And then we're also going to add that deeper, darker green to the base, which is the eucalyptus, to give that really beautiful shaded effect there. Once that has been done, I then decided I want to add a little bit more detail. And what I've done is I've taken the Coral Bliss woodless colouring pencil from the woodless colouring pencil set. And I'm just going to scribble in, or colour in, sorry, a darker shadow just at the base of the petals that we have. If you do find that you're getting too kind of perfect strokes, you can definitely rub with your finger to kind of blend that out a little, and that's what you can see me doing there. So as well as the larger flowers, I will be doing the smaller ones as well to add in that darker shade. I just think that it adds a little something. It makes something a little bit more detailed. It makes it look like the shadows are deeper, and I think that it looks really, really good. It does take a little bit more time, but it does really finish off the image. Once that has been done, we're then going to die cut. So what I'm doing is I am taking the coordinating die for the image. I'm just going to place that around the outside edge of the image and then just add a little bit of tape before running that through my machine. The tape's going to stop it moving, so it is going to cut perfectly, and you can see just how beautiful that looks there. I'm then going to cut 3 images just with that die. So these do not have an image, it's just white blank cardstock. And I'm just doing it on a 5.5 by 4.25. The 2 edges do poke off the edges, but I didn't need those. So I cut 3 of those. So I am going to add some glue tape to the top of one of them, and then add another of the pure white die cuts on top of that one. As you can see, I didn't get that completely right, but with the glue tape, you do have a little bit of wiggle room if you don't push it down securely. Once that has the 2 layers of the white die cuts, I'm then going to add on the coloured one that we have. So I still have another of these white die cuts over to the side, so I haven't used all of them on this portion here. So once that has been added on, we can then kind of figure out how this is going to work on our card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this into position. Now you need the leaves to, or a part of the image to hit the bottom area, as we are going to be kind of cutting that out, so you do need it to stand up. And I'm just adding lines between the 2 top images, so we can add a cut line there that is going to be disguised by that die cut image that we have. So I'm just making sure that that is going to be okay when I do cut it. I'm just hiding that cut line behind the image itself. I don't want any kind of image above that cut line or the cut line above the image. I just want it hidden. So I have cut that there. We can then pop that into place, and you can see that we are going to add that image just along that cut edge. And then we do also have those 2 leaves touching the bottom. As a little trick, I have some double-sided adhesive waste, and I've added that within the inside of my card, because when I add this glue to the image, I do not want to stick the card together. So I have that there because it's going to be easily removable. I do find that it's a handy little trick to have. So I'm just going to add some more glue behind the image, and then we're going to line this up into place onto that cut line where we have the leaf on the cut line and also the top of that larger flower, and then the rest are all dangling over the edges. At this point, I am going to add on that extra white die cut that we have, and that's just going to cover over that cut line that we have in at the center of the card. You don't necessarily need to do that. You could always just add enough glue to the front portion on the top edge but I do find that that really cleans off the look of the inside card a lot. Once that has been done, we're just going to close the card, and then what we're going to do is cut off any of the overhanging edges. I'm using more of these heavy duty scissors than the Altenew ones, just because I know that I'm cutting through like 4 layers of cardstock, and I do not want to damage my very pretty Altenew scissors. So that is why I am using these ones today. So once you have done that, you can see that it is still going to stand up. You have that peekaboo look through the image, and it is very, very pretty. I then wanted to kind of add a little bit of glitz and glam. So I'm going to take some of the Gilded cardstock from Altenew, and I'm just going to pick one of the golds that we have there, one that I had a full sheet of, and I'm going to add that just under the image. And you can see that this kind of 3-inch strip fitted perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better fit for there. And I've just added a little bit of a guideline where I want this glue to go. And this is the ultra sticky tape from Altenew. And this is the inch wide. So I'm just going to add 2 strips of those. And then I can remove the backing. And then I'm going to add that glitter into place. I'm just going to line up the side, the left-hand side, and also the bottom on there. And then that means I only need to do 1 cut on this right side edge. Remember to kind of cut it from behind so you can see exactly where you need to cut, as that gives you a cleaner, crisper cut with that. And you can see just how pretty that is there. All I'm going to do now is add a sentiment. So I'm going to go back to my stamp set that we have. So this is the Frilly Begonia stamp set. And we have a beautiful With Love sentiment. Now I was going to stamp this onto some black cardstock, but I thought to add a little kind of softness to this, I'm stamping this on to some of the navy cardstock, from Altenew. I've used the embossing ink, and I am going to heat set again with that rose gold embossing powder. So this is going to bring in the rose gold that we have from the glitter and also the embossed image as well. So really trying to pull together all of those gold tones. Once that has been done, we're just going to die cut the sentiment. Now this does come in the coordinating die set, so you're going to be able to cut out those large sentiments in the stamp set as well. So I'm just going to pop that around the image, add a little bit of tape so it doesn't move while I run that through my die cutting machine, and then die cut that. Just to add a little bit of dimension to this pretty flat card, I am going to add some of the instant dimension foam tape behind the sentiment, the die cut sentiment that we have. So all we need to do is remove those pieces and then pop that into place. You can really play around with the placement of this if you wanted to, but I find that it works really well just about there. So here is the card complete. I really love how this turned out. I really do hope that you do too, and that you do give this a technique a try. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been a pleasure, and I do hope that you create something using this as inspiration. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again really, really soon. Bye-bye. Hey there, Lydia here. I really do hope that you've just enjoyed the video. If so, please subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can get your daily dose of crafty techniques and tutorials just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.